Alright, this is a second video. Doing this from my little hovel again. Thought I'd split it up. Give myself a little more time. Use one memory card. Do one take. That's how it goes for me. I don't have two memory cards or anything like that. I don't have a computer or capacity to deal with all these bugs. I'd rather just use my only camera I got that is separate. And I got a computer that actually has a camera. I just cover it up because you know how things are these days. Anyways, 3 teachers that actually got me started. Well, first off was Orion. He don't take too many students. Now, I know for sure he's got a lot more than your fair share with traps, bow and arrows, basically just anything that has to do with hunting or tribal gear. Second was Anubis. He basically taught me how to create portals stuff in his free time, and he's obviously very busy right now since he's a gatekeeper. Now what's a gatekeeper? Basically keeps the portals steady and allows people to go to and from where they need to be. Nonetheless, and some brakes, burrs all over the place. And I'll deal with that later. Nonetheless, he taught me how to do certain kinds of portals, like direct portals to the void, or how to make portals or teleport, etc. That's something I need to really learn how to do, again, right around here. Because if I can teleport, you can't stop me. Like, forget where you go. If I get good at teleportation, you're screwed. Because I've been trained how to do that. Anubis, as far as teachers go, he's a pretty damn good one. The third one was a female martial artist. First of her kind, nonetheless. And by first, I mean first human female. You learn from the best. It's kind of hard to get away from that. Nonetheless, she was the strictest teacher you could ever be. Chinese girl, about let's say just about as big as Anubis is, by comparison, because of her, I guess you could say, abilities when it comes to Tai Chi and one other martial art that no one really knows about, but it's sort of a cross between Taekwondo and Judo. It's basically a balance. Still, I could get the Judo part, but but my background when I was a little kid, I was doing Taekwondo for no problem whatsoever. I just didn't see how to do the Judo bit, because every time I got thrown by her, a little bit of self-esteem sank a little bit lower each time, because the way she taught is like, you're going to do it or you're going to actually get yourself messed up. I don't blame her. Because considering she was actually one of the first female martial artists here on Earth. Hey, you gotta put up or shut up. She eventually, she didn't really say much about her past, and I sure as hell don't think she ever will. Nonetheless, she's probably one of the bigger ones out of my entire time. Actually, me being away. Before I actually became a guardian, those 3 teachers, martial artist, she never said her name. She never told anybody her name. She never wanted her name to be known. She still has a few untold issues to deal with. Maybe about 2 centuries ago, but sure as hell. Nope, she's not gonna say. I guess it's how I have it, you know. Once you get that character trait, you don't say a name. He's like, forget it, I'm not gonna bother. Nonetheless, there are some beings that just don't have names, so that's the other bit of it. They only go by, they recognize with their mind. Telepathy, in other words. Like, you say, you have energy signatures. It's, like energy, like you have magnetic flux or something like that, and then you have electronic current, and there's different voltages or ohms of it. It's basically like that. Like, okay, you're so-and-so, this type of number. We recognize each other kind of like that. Sounds weird, yeah. But that's how it works. You don't go by names. Not often. But in some respects, if we do relate ourselves with a name, then when somebody calls us out for that specific type of energy signature, then we interpret it as our name. But if somebody doesn't know your name, you will instantly ignore them. I mean, if you're always like, okay, I need to learn this person's name. Duh. Then you have the people that already know your name, but you're kind of already open a book, so to speak. I'm an open book. I don't care who freaking knows my name, because by this point, the stuff I did, everybody knows me. I don't care. Like, it's not fame. It's not just, okay, it's like, hey, look here. We got some guys. Star power is bullshit to me. It's just like, okay, hi there. Thanks for being a good sport. See ya. That's all I really get sometimes. I could care less. Like, nobody's going like, a human thing that we usually do. I mean, sure, yeah, the other day I had a little bit of that euphoric feeling, like, oh my gosh, it's freaking coming out. Like, I was distracted by so many damn things that you eventually just had to say, screw it, I need to get back on where I need to be. Sun's setting. Better get to training soon. Anyway, I said what I need to say. for this section. Alright. Now, there seems to be some confusion when I said some things on an acquaintance of mine, by the name of Jeffrey. I'm never going to be able to pronounce your last name right. Nobody really pronounces some people's names last names right. Like last video, I said that I don't really care about names. Now you see why. It's useless. It's absolutely useless. Easier to go by telepathy. What your mind says. Nonetheless, future selves. We each have a future self. Like, we choose what we want, when we want, and then we have consequences for it later, right? Well, yeah. But what if we did something on a different timeline? What if we did something that isn't on our main timeline? We could actually look at that specific timeline and say, okay, what should I do to be able to get to that timeline, and if I like it or dislike it, or if I want to change it. Here comes the moral and rather curious bit here. I had a friend of mine. She was in trouble, nonetheless. I said, okay, what's going on here? Now, granted, this was from out of the blue. Some person from my future, or a future self, I guess you could say. I didn't know who it was. I pretty much just said, I checked it out. He's like, he identified himself as me, which was okay. I have sensed your kind of energy before. We went through the paces of, okay, we do not have time for this. Please get to your friend. She's in trouble. He sent me a location of where she was at the moment. With my live body, I teleported over, and turns out a rival clan had boarded her ship and was, well, I don't know what they were up to, but nonetheless, they were doing something illegal. By illegal, they were breaking universal law. They were taking crew, punting them around, and doing things that you really shouldn't be doing. Turned out that these clan members were, how should I put it, trying to impersonate another clan. They wanted to start a war with this clan that my friend started, or should I say her family started, because hello, squirrel. See, even the animals, I kind of agree. They're like, hey, it wasn't us. You really shouldn't have done this. I call their clan Amelius for a reason. Because, in a way, They all look like animals. Just humanoid. You got dog star system and other star systems outside of it, like subsystems, I guess you could say, that have these little planets. As you can see, the birds that it took me to get into here is not very friendly. Okay, I gotta maintain the trail again sometime next week. Nonetheless, I started trying to negotiate the situation without trying to escalate it too quickly. Using my old tactics of reasoning and stuff. Somehow he didn't like it. He grabbed my friend, and then I really got mad. Now, I'm trying to. And by this point, I'm just trying to keep my cool, not go primal on him. And I thought, hey, call up the Archangel, see what they think of this. Not but what? 2 seconds later. I mean, literally 2 seconds. That's all it really took. They teleported in. They were on the so-and-so rival clan that my friend was dealing with. She looked scared. I was freaking. I always took her as one of the tougher ones of her entire clan. She was literally freaking scared. I was like, "Oh, could you have handled this?" I was like, "No." They were over on the ship within a few seconds. We had nothing we could do. Didn't you have... No. But, no. We have absolutely nothing that we could have used to fend them off. I'm like, what kind of ship is this? She just laughed. It was like, boy, you really need to come along with me on some of my trips. That was a hell of a day, I can give you that much. By the time we actually got back, and well, by the time she got back, she actually figured out about who the hell this clan was. It's like, no, we didn't do it. Then who is Archangel Bolt and Cannon without split second? I'm like, hello? Well, what? No, that's... Oh. Okay. Hey. Ma'am, you might want to see this. I'm like... She was like... Okay. Well, that explains it. They've been this clan has been on our asses for years, trying to take over our planet, or certain sectors of our planet. Even worse, they've been trying to take over mining operations on other clan bases and stuff. Like, okay, your problem, not mine. I hope you can deal with this. Okay, yeah, it's just like, yeah, I can deal with this. They're really gonna get their clan banned from ever doing any other actions again. If they basically, you break. Here's the thing: you break universal law, You don't do things within universal law. You're mining illegally on somebody else's planet, and you're actually doing certain other things that cause harm or indirect harm to somebody. Now, then you got a problem. That's all it really took, was that small little bit of evidence that Archangels dug up. Now, I'm an Archangel. I've always been an Archangel before. I've said this plenty of times before. But here's a little tidbit that probably many of you will... it's just a little bit of a secret. Nonetheless, it's really bad. Bad. They always find someone that's willing to get paid for this kind of thing, and that is usually bounty hunters. I know that's bad. So usually Archangels hire bounty hunters to go after some people. They find informants or do some little odd jobs that would normally break universal law. Now, why do bounty hunters have this sort of right? Well, they kind of are hired by Nephilim. Usually are employed by Nephilim. How do I know that? Well, let's just say rumors go around pretty freaking fast. You touch a bounty hunter, you're more than likely you're going to get in trouble with the Nephilim, or they are going to inexplicably boot you all the way to freaking who knows where, just for so-and-so exposing them, I think would be the appropriate term. Not pretty. I haven't experienced that myself because I've only seen one Nephilim once, obviously. Anyways, I'd be considered the king of bounty hunters. How? Well, there was this one guy by the name of SanGrief. Went after him, had him. He was arrested. Brought him over to what I now know as a Nephilim base, and they dealt with him in the harshest of manners. I didn't do a damn thing except capture him. I got paid boo-foo freaking amount of resources just to be able to capture them. But nonetheless, that's just one guy that's causing this planet trouble. Or should I say one being. I don't like putting scapegoats on anybody, but when it comes to certain clans, especially rogue clans that want to continue operating off the radar, they usually come here. And if you want to ask, what do you mean off the radar? What do you think? They've already been considered banned, but they want to continue operating nonetheless. Zeta Clan, specifically. You know of their operations, I'm sure. Pretty nasty stuff. Including Millab and all that. I don't know. It's bad, but it's not like it's irreversible. I could probably go around doing some ninja stuff and taking one body at a time and dropping them. I don't do that. It's not my style anymore. Capturing them, maybe, but as for a method of capture, specifically, even with what I know, it's not a very satisfying thought. Let's just put it that way. I mean, I could probably take like some of the lower level, low tier targets and capture them, but a lot of good it would do, because who's still on top? Better get going. This is starting to ferment a little too much. I'll pour this on fire, and it won't work. Anyway, see you when you decide to come back. Namaste.